The future of Aaron Rodgers remains the top story. A contingent from the New York Jets, as you are aware by now, flew to California Tuesday to meet with him, and now we wait somewhat impatiently. However, some current Jets are getting in on the recruiting pitch. There was about a 1 hour period last night where it felt like half the team tweeted at Aaron Rodgers, including Quinnen Williams, who retweeted a video of Rodgers playing golf and said, "Aaron, I know some amazing golf courses in New Jersey and NYC you can golf at all season long." I'll second that, by the way. He's welcome to come with me to Bayonne anytime. And meanwhile, Sauce Gardner simply holding up a cheese head trying to manifest Rodgers to New York. And so are we as we work our way toward this. Dianna Russini, our insider extraordinaire, who I can tell you right now, from the moment woke up this morning, all she's been is on the phone. So you've been working this nonstop. What do we know?
Yeah, good morning. All right, so there is optimism in the New York Jets building today. It actually started before that trip to the West Coast to meet Aaron Rodgers in person. This was all driven by owner Woody Johnson. He wanted to get in front of the quarterback, get to know him a little bit, and talk about what it could be, what it could look like, and what they could achieve with Aaron Rodgers under center in New York with this Jets roster. So they went in there thinking they could get him, and they came home believing they are poised to get him, and they feel like they can get this done. Now look, this is Aaron Rodgers. He takes his time, he thinks things through, he likes to think outside the box. He could wake up today and say he doesn't want to play football anymore. He could retire. But in terms of the Jets side of this, the New York Jets feel good that Aaron Rodgers could be their quarterback this season.
You know, you mentioned the owner, Woody Johnson. I keep going back to your interview with him the night of the NFL awards, that Thursday night thing where they give out the MVP and everything, when he told you that he was absolutely determined to bring in a big-time quarterback.
Mike, that was my biggest takeaway from talking to Woody. It wasn't even specific to Aaron Rodgers because obviously he didn't want to tamper. But it was evident they want the best quarterback in football that they can get on their team. And the New York Jets believe that is Aaron Rodgers. They are doing everything. And it starts from Mr. Johnson all the way down to the coaching staff to now you see players recruiting. It is an all-in effort to get him here. The conversations between the Packers and the Jets have been ongoing, right, as they discuss compensation and the contract for Aaron Rodgers, which is going to be a key piece in all of this.
Yeah, that's right. It's not as simple as Rodgers deciding he wants to play. The Jets clearly have decided they want him. It isn't quite as simple as him just deciding he wants them as well. There'll be other pieces of it to work out, but that's the first huge step. Bartholomew, go.
Well, I don't know how Aaron Rodgers goes back to Green Bay after all this has happened. So it's either, the Jets or retirement. The Raiders already said that they're not interested. So I think all signs point to Aaron Rodgers being on the New York Jets if he's going to play football. And I think, right now, Woody Johnson and him going all in is recognizing that they're ahead of schedule. They're ahead of schedule. They understand that Zach Wilson's not ready yet. They have to have a big-time, quarterback to try and compete with that division. When you think about Tua Tagovailoa, you think about, Josh Allen, but you also think about Mac and Cheese being back with his college, coordinator, which is going to be difficult. Hadn't beaten the Patriots in 12 last contests. Now they have a quarterback that they feel that they can compete with, and all they need is good quarterback play. They don't need great Hall of Fame MVP Aaron Rodgers, and they recognize that they have a young roster that they can take advantage of having cheap contracts. Joe Douglas has done a great job. This is an opportunity to go all in.
Herman Edwards was talking to me yesterday after the show. You mentioned yesterday you were on the staff in Kansas City when Joe Montana was acquired.
Yes.
After the show, you were telling me that there are ways that he impacts a team, that a player of this stature impacts a team that people don't see. You were telling me in practice the way the receivers were reacting.
It was interesting. Our receivers didn't get any more talent, but they were in fear of dropping Joe Montana's ball when he threw it in practice. They were actually in fear because they said, if I drop his ball, he's not going to throw it to me anymore. But the team elevated when he walked into the locker room. We had a very good football team. We were in the playoffs all the time. Got to the championship game, but he got knocked out in the second quarter, and that ended it for us there, and Buffalo went on. But that's what Aaron Rodgers brings to this football team. He's going to elevate the players. The players are like, we got a shot. Look, this team only scored 17 points a game. With Aaron Rodgers, you're going to be in the mid-20s to high 20s. That's all they need. If they can do that, play good defense like they did last year, they have a chance to win the division.
This tells the locker room we're all in. right? Listen, I've been in this exact same situation. We took a high pick on Kyle Bowler, and we thought Kyle Bowler, we had a team that was ready to go, a championship defense. We just couldn't score points. We made a late trade, I believe in like June, for Steve McNair. Steve McNair was at the end of his career, but we just needed professional quarterback play. And we went 13-3 and had the best record in the AFC. Unfortunately, we got kicked out in the first round by the eventual champs in the Indianapolis Colts. But it accomplished everything that we thought. And when they did that, they said, oh, we're ready to go now. We're not waiting and we're not developing this young nucleus. We're ready to go now. You got young players, but they're great players.
You have to score the ball in the National Football League.
Yes.
You have to score the ball.
Yeah.
And you can have great defenses. And they hold up for a certain period of time.
Yep.
But when you start turning the ball over and you keep putting them on the field, they run out of gas. We saw the Jets last year. It happened. They held on, but the same thing kept happening. Turnovers, not scoring, and eventually it just breaks the back of your defense.
Well, that's why maybe it's not a coincidence that we saw their two defensive stars were the ones on Twitter yesterday, right? It's Quinnen Williams and it's Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, and that's been a lot of the sell for the Jets, even going back when Derek Carr was one of their options here, right? When they weren't sure what Aaron Rodgers was going to do, and eventually they were able to figure out, wow, we got a shot here. We think we can maybe land Aaron Rodgers, right? So here they've put on that full court press, and they're poised to land him because they know top to bottom what they've built the last few seasons. They're missing that one piece, and that piece is everything that you guys painted, and that's Aaron Rodgers.
And as you talk about the Tom Brady effect that happens, right? It's going to be players that's willing to come play with Aaron Rodgers because they understand where the Jets are in their program, and they may take less to have an opportunity to play. So you consider that effect as well. But I mean, if you're the Denver Broncos, you're like, really, Nathaniel?
Yeah.
Really? This is the year you pay it off and be the person that helps facilitate a trade for Aaron Rodgers?
Here's the hard part too in this situation, right? Because I feel like anytime we've discussed quarterbacks perhaps getting traded or joining another team, and you hear teams are so optimistic and they're poised. And the Jets, look, it's clear they are doing everything to land Aaron Rodgers, including maybe bringing you in on this recruiting.
I'm available.
But we don't really know. Guys, I wish I could have come on the show today and said, guys, it's done. Because it's not. It's not. There still needs to be things worked out.
They've been hurt before.
But they've been hurt before. But they feel good that they've done everything to convince Aaron New York is the spot.
All right, so I don't feel good. So
I'm sorry.
Let's go to what has to happen. We all understand that Aaron sort of operates on his own timetable.
Yeah.
But legal tampering begins Monday. Today's Thursday. Legal tampering begins Monday. The new league year begins next Wednesday. It would stand to reason that something concrete has to happen between now and then. So I'm trying to figure out what that is. What is the first step that takes place? Is it Rodgers giving verbal authorization to the Packers to make a trade?
It's all in the hands of Aaron Rodgers.
Who does he talk? He talks to the Packers and says trade me?
You have to figure after all those years he spent in Green Bay that he's going to respectfully share with them what he wants to do. But I think we know where this is headed in terms of Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, right? Because they have allowed him to meet with the Jets. They've had conversations. They're not doing this unless they're planning a future without him.
So the question then becomes working out compensation with the Jets. That probably won't be easy. But again, I think there is a ticking clock on this thing. I mean, it sounds easy to say he can do it whenever he wants, but legal tampering and then Wednesday, and then you can't be left holding the bag if you're a Jet.
The Jets are going to want
to be as difficult as you think with Green Bay.
Because?
Green Bay wants to remove themselves from the situation.
Yeah.
They want to get on with, they have a young quarterback waiting.
Yeah.
It's his turn now. So they want to get this deal done too.
As Billy Crystal said in When Harry Met Sally, when you figure out who you want to spend the rest of your life with, you want the rest of your life to begin as quickly as possible. And that, I think, is where they are on both sides of this debate right now. All right, Booger McFarland will jump